Let's bring it back here to Washington with some interesting political news today, with lawmakers on the Hill voting to hold the Clintons, the former president, the former first lady, the former secretary of state, in contempt of Congress over their refusal to testify into this Republican-led investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. Why does this matter? Because this opens the door for the House to use one of its most powerful punishments against a former president. That's new. We haven't seen that before. It could also maybe, possibly, perhaps give the DOJ the green light to prosecute the Clintons. Now, both of the Clintons skipped their scheduled depositions on the Hill last week. They argued that the subpoenas handed down to them don't actually hold any legal water. But the top Republican leading this charge, as you are probably not surprised to hear, disagrees.
The Clintons' testimony is critical to understanding Epstein's sex trafficking network and the ways he sought to curry favor and influence to shield himself from scrutiny.
Remember, former President Clinton was seen in multiple pictures in the first batch of Epstein files released by the DOJ in December. Neither Clinton has been accused of any wrongdoing related to Epstein. I want to bring in Mel Zanona, our correspondent there on Capitol Hill. A high-profile vote today, and it did not go entirely on party lines, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It was a bipartisan vote in committee, and when it comes to the House floor in 2 weeks, I expect it will be a bipartisan vote as well. But this was not an easy decision for Democrats because, yes, while they have been calling for transparency on the Epstein files, they also don't view Chairman Comer as a fair player. One of the Democrats who did vote to hold Bill Clinton in contempt of Congress was Democrat Congressman Maxwell Frost. He argued that they need to be applying the same standard to President Donald Trump, who also was mentioned in the Epstein files. So he made a motion during the hearing today to subpoena all documents and records from Mar-a-Lago that might be pertinent to their investigation into Epstein. That, though, was rejected. Let's watch some of that moment.
Why won't you move to make sure that we get the relevant documents from Mar-a-Lago, that I just read this?
We cannot vote on it. It's in our rules. We'll be breaking our rules. We have to apply to the rules, too. We're not like the Clintons.
No. You are hiding behind process to protect these Mar-a-Lago documents, and I think it's disgraceful.
Now, once these contempt resolutions do pass the House, it is ultimately up to the Department of Justice whether to actually prosecute the case. But should the agency decide to charge the Clintons, that could mean fines or even jail time, which would be quite unprecedented for a former president.
Hey, Mel, while we're talking all things sort of related to the Jeffrey Epstein case, what's the gut check on the rest of the documents that the DOJ is legally bound to release and that they were supposed to do by the end of December?
Yeah, well, at this moment, only 1% of those documents have actually been released, despite the fact that it's been over a month since that deadline. Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie, a bipartisan duo here on Capitol Hill, did request a special master to oversee an independent review of that document production. However, just today, a federal judge denied that request. So really, they are at the whims of the Justice Department. Now, Democrats have called to hold Attorney General Pam Bondi in contempt for failing to comply with that law that Congress passed with bipartisan support last year. Republicans have, of course, rejected that idea. But I will say Pam Bondi is going to be testifying in front of the House Judiciary Committee in 2 weeks, where no doubt she's going to face questions about her handling of the Epstein case.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.